I want to move on to a bit of sad news today, as I've already talked about in the opening. Um, I learned, we all learned earlier today that Kevin Conroy, the iconic voice actor, humanitarian, just a good man, has suddenly died at the age of 66. I want to read this article from Variety before kind of going into my own thoughts and feelings about his sudden passing. Kevin Conroy, best known for voicing Batman, Warner Bros. Long-running TV show Batman Animated Series, has died after a short battle of cancer. He was 66. I had no clue he had cancer. I guess he was. I mean, it was just it was a personal matter he was dealing with and didn't make it public. Batman the Animated Series originally aired for 85 episodes on Fox Kids from 1992 to 1995. Conroy's deep, gravelly Batman voice was widely acclaimed by critics and comic book fans, with many regarding the actor as the definitive Caped Crusader. The series also featured Mark Hamill's memorable performance as the Joker. Kevin was perfection, Hamill said in a statement. Mark Hamill said, "He was one of my favorite people on the planet, and I loved him like a brother. He truly cared for the people around him. His decency shone through everything he did. Every time I saw him or spoke with him, my spirits were elevated." Conroy was so beloved for his Batman voice role that he continued with the character in various other DC projects, including the Batman Arkham and Justice video game franchise. He also appeared in various DC Universe animated original movies and continuations of the DC animated universe. He's such an iconic character, Conroy told DC in 2014 interview. He's such a part of the American cultural landscape. It's an amazing thing to be a part of and to have contributed to. In the live-action space, Conroy made his feature film acting debut in 1992 romance drama Chain of Desire, written and directed by, I can't say this man's name, Temistoclis Lopez? My apologies. He also starred in a recurring role in the NBC soap opera Another World and appeared in episodes classic series such as Dallas, Murphy Brown, and Cheers. And Conroy's voice acting was not limited to Batman. He also lent his talents to franchises such as Scooby-Doo and The Master of the Universe. In the latter franchise, he appeared on episodes of Netflix's Master of the Universe Revelation, playing Merman in 2021, and He-Man, the Master of the Universe, including Hordak earlier this year. Warner Bros. Animation is saddened by the loss of our dear friend Kevin Conroy. WB Animation sent a statement. His iconic performance of Batman will forever stand among the greatest portrayals of the Dark Knight in any medium. We send our warmest thoughts to his loved ones and join fans around the world in honoring his legacy. Conroy most recently wrote Finding Batman, which was showcased as part of the DC Pride 2022 earlier this year. Conroy was openly gay, making him the only openly gay actor to portray Batman. Finding Batman recounted the actor's experiences playing the Caped Crusader while also coming to terms with his own sexuality. And they have a whole list of various actors that he worked with, just putting out, their condolences. Obviously, Tara Strong, Chad, who voiced Barbara Gordon, and Batgirl in the third season of Batman Animated Series, and would then later on play Harley Quinn in a number of adaptations. Ed Boon, James Gunn. I respect James Gunn coming out and saying that. I really like that. Troy Baker, Michael Rosenbaum, of course, voiced the Flash chat in the DCAU's Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Paul Dini, Jack Quaid, like a lot. Everyone's putting out their statements and their condolences and how they feel about Kevin Conroy. And I guess that's what brings us here, chat. As you guys know, I am a huge fan of Batman the Animated Series. It was the show. It was the thing that introduced me not only to Batman, but to DC in general. I feel like for a lot of people of my generation, kids who grew up in the 90s, that this is how we were introduced to a lot of these characters. Before the movies, before I even picked up a comic book, it was Batman the Animated Series. And Kevin Conroy's Batman, I think, has had such a huge impact on a lot of people's view of the character, certainly my own. I feel like people said that gravelly voice, it just stands out in your mind. It became iconic. It's anytime, and I've said this, countless times on my platform and other platforms I've appeared on. When I read a Batman comic and Batman is speaking, I hear the voice of Kevin Conroy. I hear Kevin Conroy's Batman. Much in the same way where I read a comic and I hear the when I see Joker's dialogue, I hear Mark Hamill's Joker, But yeah, that adaptation of Batman has been my favorite version of the character for decades now at this point. It's the one I always reference, the one I always call back to. I mean, obviously you had people like Bruce Timm and Paul Dini and all these amazing actors and writers that worked on that show, but every episode, I think for so many episodes, we always heard Kevin Conroy's voice. And there was even though it was intimidating, it could be scary, it was also like really comforting. And he brought so much humanity to that character. So much sadness to that character where you understood him. And I mean, I talk about this too, how, for the DCAU, the way when we finally see Batman and later in his life, it's kind of a sad end for the character. And when we find him again in Batman Beyond, he's this lonely, bitter old man who's pushed away so many people. And there's like a coldness to him, and even more of a coldness to him now. And just the way in which Kevin Conroy like portrayed that, you felt that sadness in the way he talked to people like Terry McGinnis or like an older Barbara Gordon, just all of that, just the different takes on that character and what Kevin Conroy brought to each of them, I thought was incredible and always sticks in my mind, to this day. Like, man, he's voiced this character in various different mediums and animated shows for 30 years now. And now I just, today I'm just thinking like we're never going to hear him voice Batman again in a new Batman animated show. This is it. I don't know if anyone can correct me. Is he doing the voice in that new Bruce Timm Batman animated series? The one that's also being produced by Matt Reeves. I don't recall. Let me know. But yeah, it's just kind of like, and that's it. It's very sad. Yeah, I've been kind of just dealing with this all day. I've been feeling just really emotional. Even when I first heard about it, the night before, I took care of like a ton of errands and things, and I did grocery shopping and everything else, took care of more car stuff, and that's finally dealt with, which is great. Came home, and I think I started drinking. I drank a little too much. I was actually watching The Batman. While drinking. I was like, ugh. Then it was later that morning. I woke up later that morning, hungover, took some medication, just not feeling great. But then eventually I got up and I started feeling better. And then what I usually do is I scroll, through, like various, publications where it's like, news items I can talk about today for various streams. And I saw that one. I was like, oh my God. It was, I had other people messaging me about it, and I just kind of took my time to message them because I was just kind of dealing with that. Because, this man has had such a important impact on my life and my love of this character, of comics and comic book adaptations. And again, his Batman was my introduction to the world, not even just the DC, to the world of comics, maybe. Like, I think Batman was that thing. Even before I watched, like, X-Men, the animated series, or Spider-Man, I think it was Batman. I think for a lot of people. So, yeah, it hurts. This one really hurts. There's not a lot of people, a lot of actors or creators or writers, directors I would want to meet, personally. I like to admire people from afar. I don't want to bother anybody, like leave them be, just, hey, I have a lot of respect, but I don't want to, because they deal with that all the time, right? But Kevin Conroy is one of those exceptions. He was one of those exceptions, along with a couple others, that I would have wanted to have just said, hey, thank you. Your take on this character was my introduction to this character, and has been my favorite adaptation of this character of all time. And I'm sure he's heard this before countless times. When I read a Batman comic, I hear your voice, So, I regret that I've never got the chance to meet him or interact with him, and just to say thank you. But the thing that does fill me with happiness is the fact that he did hear that. He heard that countless times throughout his life for 30 years. The people told him how much they appreciate him and what he brought to that character in all his different forms, whether it was Batman the animated series, whether it was the new adventures of Batman when they changed the animation style, whether it was Superman the animated series, whether it was Batman Beyond as that bitter, cold, lonely version of Bruce Wayne in the Justice League animated series, Chad, and all of his other appearances like in Static Shock and obviously the Batman video games, of course, and the Batman animated movies. So, you know, he did so much. And obviously his charitable works, chat. You know, regards to, you know, survivors of 9/11, the firefighters and police officers of 9/11, obviously his contributions and his charitable works with the LGBTQ community. You know, I mean, that needs to be mentioned, that needs to be admired and revered. He did so much. And yeah, I don't know what else I can say. I'm just, you know, I'm still kind of processing and dealing with it. And oh God, I think, but I do audio video commentaries for Batman animated series on my Patreon, and I just know like the next episode I'm going to be doing, which will be episode 3, I believe I think that's Trial. I think it's Trial. I want to say it might be Trial, which is one of the like big episodes where it has like all the villains putting Batman on trial in Arkham Asylum. It's a great episode, so I'm like, it's gonna be rough. So I'll address it there as well. But yeah, I love what he did and what he brought to this character. You know, he is, for me, Chad, he is my Batman. He's my Batman. So yeah, I would just say, you know, to kind of wrap up this discussion, this statement, I want to hear from you guys. He was a good man, and he had a huge impact on me and my love for this character. And I feel like he will, and thankfully he will continue to do that. Even though he has passed on, because more people will watch this show and be exposed to, you know, these movies, and these these animated and these episodes, you know, for forever. And so I can, you know, that makes me really, really happy that people are going to experience his Batman forever, as they should. But thank you, chat, for listening. Sorry if I felt like I was a little long-winded or going off on a tangent a few times, but just a lot of things just coming to mind right there. So, but thank you so much. Whew. What about you guys? I mean, there's so many great Batman moments. I know, super sad and surprising news. Good thing he's legend, because we know they never die. It's true. That's true. Yeah. No, thank you, Loco. Thank you. His Batman is the first superhero I knew of as a kid. Yeah, exactly. Same. That was my first exposure to the character. I think the superheroes in general. I want to say it was Batman animated series. Thank you, BSG. Thank you. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Giant Elephant Kevin Conroy, to me, always felt like a verified badge to Batman properties. If you voice the character in the movie, game, it felt fish. Yeah, it's that gravitas. It just made it so special. You know, he elevated the material with his voice work, and the fact that he just cared so much. Like, he loved it as much as we did. And that you also, I really respect that. I really love that too. Fuck answer, of course. BSG, what's your favorite work he was ever in? For example, Arkham City is probably my favorite game ever. Batman the animated series, by the way, Batman animated series, by the way, love your vids. Thank you. So this is my fave. Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. I mean, yeah, there's so many. Like, to pick one, I think what I will do maybe next week, and I'll take maybe tomorrow to think about it, is to pick my favorite Batman moments from the DCAU, of which there are so many, but try to maybe do like a top 10. I feel like, oh God, like I have to pick my favorite. I mean, maybe I'll surprise you guys, but I mean, obviously the flashback sequence in Batman Beyond, that was so impactful. I love that moment. I really love the moment where it's in Justice League. It's on Justice League Unlimited. I think it's I forget what it's the epilogue. I think it's epilogue where he comforts Ace when she dies. That was really good. I need to think about more of these, but there's so many. Talk about fish fuck cancer. He fought as long as he could. Yep. Poseidon Crimes, the Grey Ghost episode. Oh, Grey Ghost is amazing. So good. Bring back Adam West. Next score, you lying. This is not true. What do you mean? Alec gets fish. Yeah. Now I've been kind of on the verge of crying all day. I've been gotten watery-eyed and just, yeah, that's why I'm a little low energy tonight, chat. Also sick, still a little sick still, but you know that this does not help. Let's get the voice of the fan. He did. He voiced other characters, and throughout the DCAU, and but in other adaptations, he voiced the Fam Stranger. That's true. In I think the Batman the Brave and the Bold, I believe. Oh, Loki was also an introduction to Batman as well as the animated series. I'm crying. I didn't mean to make you cry. Yeah, that's the way I feel about Stan Lee. I really wish I went to this booth at a con. Was that years ago? Yeah. Luke Boss got to meet him. Nice. I'm like, Sean, good to have you. By the way, me neither. You might be the only celebrity I visit the grave. Yeah, I just, it's, because I like to be very hands off. I don't really want to, interrupt a person of like, oh, they do this. They deal with that all the time. So I don't want to be that guy. But he's the one where I would go up to him and be like, hey, I just want to thank you. He's one of those people, or I would want to interview or talk to. BSG, just to be clear, all that sentiment is seconded by me as Batman, even more so than X-Men, Spider-Man, Superman. That was it for me. The bee's knees, even as a kid, I could tell it was art. Yeah, it was something different. Man. I can gladly say he was my hero. Nice. I heard it in TikTok from Soups first this morning, and already like, damn, my weekend was a trip already, but this Saturday, yeah, of course. Yep. Yeah, Batiste Graphics, good to have you here. Welcome. Let me just keep scrolling, see what else you guys are selling. Black Lotus Batman's the first superhero I knew of as a kid, but you will very much be missed. Thank you, chat, for all the kind words. Let's see what else you guys are saying. His Batman is the definitive one I wanted to see on screen. Yeah, the Grey Ghost episode of me severely more emotion now than it did before because both Adam and Kevin are gone. Yeah, that's right. Adam West is gone too. So everyone, the voice of our child. Yeah, I guess that's the other thing too. He's the voice of my childhood. That I just kind of find comfort in. Yeah. I was born in 8 years, so I feel I was blessed to grow up. Oh, man, absolutely during the 90s era. That was Batman series still legendary, 100%. Because you missed bro, the full quote, I am vengeance, I am darkness, I am the night, I am Batman. That's right. In the Scarecrow episode, oh, God. It was episode 3. I'm trying to remember the episode name. Yeah. Fear, oh, God. Nothing to fear? I'm trying to remember. He's the gold standard of Batman voices. He's the reason why everyone gets compared to him as far as voices go. 100%. When Arkham Asylum came out, I'm glad he was picked to voice him again. He brought that quality to the game. Yes, he did. Never said that means a lot to use bold. Most of you know how I feel. We have talked about him many times. He just gave so much amazing work. And like you, when I think of Batman, he's the first person that comes up. He was my Batman also. One more thing, voice acting is usually a thankless job. It's true. The fact that he helped to make it a bit more recognized. That's the other thing. That's a good point. I definitely feel like there was like a shift in the 90s because we went through just kind of like a golden age of animated stuff in the 90s. It was a really good time. And I feel like, yeah, he was one of those guys that was people just recognized, absolutely. Yeah. Because, yeah, mostly it's a thankless job. You don't know who these people are. Yeah, good point. It was also when he overcame the fear toxin in Scarecrow's first episode. It's going. That'll be a lot of people's. His moment singing in Justice League, oh, I'm blue. Yeah. Fact that he was my first hero. As he got older, his voice sounded even better. It did. He got more confident, I feel like. There was more of an edge to his Batman voice. More of a graveliness. By the time we got to the 3rd season, it was like, oh my God. My kids love his bitch too. Nice. Human Black Human just watched a movie honoring a man's work who died of cancer to find out about yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't know yet. I didn't know he had cancer. It must have been very severe. Kevin Conroy's best at Batman tapes. For me, he's the best. Grey Ghost is your favorite episode? It's not you, it's me. Twins going through a photo album. BMW, the epilogue episode solidified Waller that there must be a Batman. Yes! My younger cousin from Portugal and I had plans to see Kevin Conroy at Fan Expo Toronto in August, but his appearance at the convention got canceled probably because of what he probably had the cancer. That's what it was. Yep, that must have been it. Sub-Zero was watched a lot when I was little. Said, yep, I watched Sub-Zero. I watched all this. Kalen McG, good to have you, Kalen McG. I'm just reading comments. Good evening, gosh, hectic night. It's not over. Devastated by the news. Yeah, his voice and what he brought to Batman was legend. 100%. 100% Kalen McG. Good to have you here, Heart Hands. Welcome. Lou Boss, great tribute to Chris. This came out of nowhere. Hit so many people hard. He has been a part of so many people's lives across generations, from MHC all the way to Arkham games, and even that Justice League. He did that Justice League action. I remember that. I watched some of that. Yep. Yeah, Fear of Victory. Perchance a Dream, Shakespeare. Oh, Perchance a Dream is great. I love Perchance a Dream. All the Mad Hatter episodes are great, chat. Read the comic Conroy, Ralph Fineman. No, I want to now. I want to. People have been promoting it. More so after his passing. He's Batman's voice, yep. Aqua Violet, thank you. Sending you hugs. Thank you. Conversation like this bring up feelings of when my dad passed away. Batman was his favorite. It's difficult, yeah. It's difficult. It takes time to you know, not get over it, but just to it's always there. But just to, you know, to move on. But it takes time. Even the Arrowverse cross when he got killed. That's right. He was there. That's right. He did the Arrowverse episode. And we were spoiled with some great animation in the 90s. Amazing stuff. David Cross will always be my favorite of his from the show. David Warner. That's right. David Warner, who passed away recently, chat. You know, he was the voice of Ra's al Ghul. Yeah. That's right. He's been David Warner was in a ton of stuff. He was the number 2 guy to Billy Zane in Titanic. He was in Scream 2. He did a ton of stuff. Even poorly written animated Batman movies, he always elevated the material. Harley Quinn movie. Yeah, no, even yeah. He was always great. Maybe if the movie itself wasn't always great, he was always great. Thankfully. Caleb McGee was my first introduction to superheroes, to be honest. Mine as well. Batman was so easy to watch as a kid, and even years as an adult, he was Batman. Simple as that. Yep. Great way to put it. Also, Superman crossover blew my mind. I know. Oh no, World's Finest. No, as a kid in the when those episodes come out, what, 97? As a kid in the 90s, chat, to see, because I already was watching Batman animated series, but then I was watching Superman animated series at the time. It's like they're doing a crossover. Oh my, it blew my mind. 3-episode crossover with the Joker and then Harley Quinn and Lex Luthor. I was like, oh my God, World's Finest is fucking awesome. I've been saying this for the longest time. That's what Batman v Superman should have been. That's the movie we should have gotten. We should have gotten a live action version of those episodes because they did such a great job. And I loved how they handled, because I want fucking Batman and Superman to fight. I know a lot of people are like, but that's so cool. It's like, I don't really care. I loved how they did that in that episode, like the fight scene between Batman and Superman, where literally Superman, because Batman's in Metropolis, he's trying to track down the Joker. And he's beating the shit out of all these mobsters who are just not used to this. And Superman's like, all right, that's enough. Superman arrives, he puts his hand on Batman, or puts him on the back of his shoulder. He's like, all right, that's enough. And fucking Batman bamboozles Superman, just takes him and throws him. And he's like, what the hell? He just didn't expect it. And he hits all these tables. And then Batman's like, yeah, I'm fucking cool. And then Clark just goes, bah! He just fucking just hits him so fast. Batman flies across the room and hits the wall. It's like, ow. It's like, yeah, that's how it would go. And that's the fight. That's it. That's all it is. Oh, I love it. He uses his super speed on him. Boom! And flies across the room. Oh. Yes. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Big Tasty from 1990 today, when I read a Batman comic, his voice, and I hear him, yeah, 100% Big Tasty, right there with you. Not touchy. Yeah. Yeah, Chad, that was so good. I love the DC, and this is the other sad thing. I've been personally just holding out hope for so long that they would return to the DCAU, like a proper return, doing more seasons of Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series and Justice League, and even doing new ones. Like they could have done, now Wonder Woman's bigger than ever. Could have done a Wonder Woman series, bring back all those original voice actors, more adventures. I mean, you have 20 years worth of new material to mine if you want to, while also telling original stories. And yeah, now it's like, I guess they could do that, but oh God, it would be such a huge hole not to have Kevin Conroy voicing Batman. You could do it, but my God, it'll be weird. It'll be really weird to see that animation, see that character, and like that design, and not hearing Kevin Conroy's voice coming out. I don't know. Yeah, they did. The adventure continues, exactly, because they have continued them on, and they've done adaptations of the various storylines in those, basically what the Batman animated series would do with those certain comic books. And that would have been awesome. I wish they did that, but fuck. yeah, I know you just don't think that it's like, oh, Kevin Conroy's gonna be around for forever. He's gonna be, of course, he'll be voicing Batman and to his 80s, and 90s. Yeah, but look at that. Look how sudden it was, Jeff. So it must have been just a really just sudden, severe form of cancer. Damn. Yeah, it's sad, but appreciate what he did, what he brought to this character. And for the multiple generations that are going to experience it afterwards, his Batman will be forever, which is a great thing, a great way to think about it.